Hello, is your sleeping pad deflating at night and you can't find the hole? I've watched countless videos to help me find and repair my sleeping pads, but all too often I just can't find the leak, but the pad still loses air at night. Today, I'm going to show you my secret method to find and easily fix those elusive punctures so you can sleep soundly on your next adventure. Let's get started. Tiny holes in sleeping pads are nearly impossible to locate with the other methods that you'll find on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to show you how to, first of all, confirm your sleeping pad has a leak. Secondly, the 3 common techniques to actually find and fix those holes and what the problems are with them. And finally, I'll show you what I do that actually works. So let's dive in. So let's fix this properly with a technique that will actually find small holes. The first thing we need to do is confirm that your pad actually has a leak. I camp a lot and I take my kids with me. They often report their sleeping pad went down in the night. This is frequently because they didn't close the valve properly. If your sleeping pad has a valve like this, and lots of popular sleeping pads do, then it must be pushed all the way in. If it looks like this, the air will escape and there's not necessarily a hole in it. The first thing you need to do is inflate your sleeping pads fully and then put a few extra blows of air in just to get the maximum air pressure you can. Then place some heavy items on top of it, backpack, books, mirror, drawer, whatever you've got hanging around, and then leave it for a few hours. If the pressure drops noticeably, you know you've got a leak. The 2 most common techniques for finding holes in sleeping pads are firstly, just listening for the air escaping. Secondly, passing your whole sleeping pad through a bath full of water and looking for air bubbles. Before you embark on the solution that I'm going to show you, it's definitely worth trying the first option that will detect large holes quite quickly and easily. And crucially, there's no mess. You just inflate your pad, spend a bit of time listening. But don't even bother trying to pass your sleeping pad through the bath. This can damage your pads. It creates a big mess. And as you pass your sleeping pad under the water, it actively reduces the air pressure in the pad in which the area is submerged and makes it less likely that you're going to see bubbles coming out. I've tried this many times and it's only going to find big holes that you'd have found just by listening in the first place. So I've inflated all these pads and I can already tell that this bottom one has lost a lot of air. And this one, the one Tigris, feels like it's lost a lot of air as well. So I'm going to get started with these 2 first. Get everything ready you need to fix this. The technique that I use is based on the classic watered down washing up liquid method, but with an extra twist to find those small holes. To use this method, these are the things you're going to need. A spray bottle filled with some cheap washing up liquid. I don't think the mixture matters, 20% washing up liquid. Some towels, some super glue, some pad repair tape, and a crayon. Let's get going. So you'll have noticed that I've changed into some shorts. This is going to get a little bit messy because you are going to need to get involved. We've got a spray bottle of washing up liquid and we're just going to spray it on the pad and we're looking for any air bubbles that appear. I always start spraying at the nozzle. This is the most likely place you're going to have a puncture. Especially if it's being used by kids, when people open these nozzles, they have a habit of yanking and pulling the plugs out, and that can cause breaks in the seam. To fix those, you need something special called seam sealant. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold the pad over like this, and we're going to get on it. This is going to increase the air pressure substantially inside the pad. It's going to force the air out. This pad actually went down within a few minutes of me inflating it, so there's definitely some holes. And then we're just going to rub and rub and rub the washing up liquid into the pad, into all the crevices, into all of the gaps, looking for any air bubbles that might appear. I found a leak. And there's one here. This is what it looks like when the pad is just inflated and there's no pressure on it. There is no way you can tell there's a leak. Now I'm going to climb onto the pad. And that's added the pressure. And let me just rub the liquid back in. And there, you can see it. And that's the secret to finding these small leaks. You've got to add as much pressure, as much air pressure into the pad as you possibly can in order to force these leaks to come out. This particular pad went down so quickly, it's already got, I think, 2 or maybe even 3 repairs on it, that I'm pretty sure that there's going to be more than one leak on here that needs to be repaired. What you next need to do is mark where this leak is with the crayon. Just making sure I've marked it. And here's another leak. No way you're going to find that with a bath method or just using this washing up liquid method alone. And there you have it. Whilst I'm not going to come around your house and guarantee that that's going to find your hole, it certainly worked in all the examples that I need. Repaired sleeping pads, ready for my next adventure. This method has saved me countless nights of discomfort and the cost of buying lots of new sleeping pads. I've got to say though, I find it very interesting. Never seems to be my sleeping pad that gets the puncture. Always seems to be one of my kids' sleeping pads. I suspect that somehow their sleeping pads are going to magically stop getting punctures when they leave home and they become responsible for the misery of repairing their own sleeping pads. I hope you found this quick tips video extremely helpful. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a like or even a subscription. I've actually got a very silly sleeping pad comparison video, which I'm going to link to up here. If you're trying to decide which sleeping pad to buy, it's probably a good place to start. And if you're not, and you just fancy some silly japes, then maybe it's a good place to go.